Happy Thursday, folks. How you gentlemen doing today?
The fire still burns.
Hello.
And we have a TOB again.
We do, although not a full one, apparently.
Most of a TOB.
We don't have a
I'll
chair
take a
yet either,
partial
but
TOB over no TOB any day.
well, we didn't have no TOB either. We just had a TOB with only 4 members for a little bit.
Half a
Which
butterfly.
I don't think 4 members is enough to technically do things.
It's not a quorum.
Does the charter say 2/3 of the membership or 2/3 of the seats? 'Cause if we've only
Well,
got 4 members, then that means 2/3 is a much smaller number, right?
I think it's 2/3 of the seats.
I think that would be a reasonable interpretation, but I
That
wonder
is
if
kind of
there's
one
any language in there specifically.
that is one of the things I was thinking about, and mostly coming out of Mike's comment, which was, do we want to have a process to fill vacant seats that are out there? And I think of all the options, I like that one the best, to make a process to fill vacant seats. I sympathize with the leaving it as is for this cycle and nothing happens. But I feel like in general, having a process to fill a vacant seat would be a good thing for us.
I think so too. I think that's probably actually a good topic for a real TOB meeting, which we haven't had in a few years because we haven't really needed one. But uh, that would be something that would be useful to discuss in that context.
I wasn't sure if we wanted to make it a proper meeting or just throw it on that GitHub issue. I'm fine with either. If we can get everybody together for me, though, that would be a first for me.
I think that it would be useful to have a meeting for that, just to actually have conversation versus just doing that on GitHub. But that's my own personal opinion.
So, Sajay, you couldn't convince Ron that he wanted to run for a TOB seat again this year.
I think Ram was interested, but I don't know what happened to the internal process. I checked with Lucky, who probably has ties with LF, but I'm hearing crickets, honestly.
Yeah. I suspect we could have gotten it filled if we had someone around that was on the LF side hounding the various member companies to say, hey, we need more people. But it sounded like maybe Jory had a vacation timed right the wrong moment there.
But each
It
member
might be that.
company only gets one nomination.
I mean, a company can nominate someone who's not an employee of theirs, but I think most member companies would nominate their own employees.
Oh, he could have also hounded people.
Right, but I think if you're talking about if Ron would be nominated, like that would mean
Uh,
finding a member company that wanted to nominate a
yeah,
non-employee. Yeah.
yeah. Now, the other one, see, I'm not used to the member company one, but on the other elections, I'm used to us having two nominations, don't we? I have to go back
Yes.
and look. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the member ones work differently.
Yeah.
You
All
there's
right.
also a limit on, you know, uh,
Per company.
number of members per number of TOB seats per employer
Yeah.
is 2. But right now, the only company that has filled that out is Docker.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I mean, we've been chatting a little bit here. We can say it's kicked off already. It's going to be a real quiet meeting today. Not a whole lot going on. So if folks have other stuff you want to chat about, I'm more than happy to chat about other stuff. Throw it in the chat, throw it in the HackMD, throw it wherever you want to throw it. As long as you don't throw it up. So yeah, we have got theoretically a board, one vacancy sitting out there. We'll see what happens with that. And the results came in with Jory's here. Hey, Jory.
Hi.
We missed you.
I missed you guys too. I'm so sheepish about this, due to many factors. I have been away from you for far too long, as demonstrated by the delay in this posting these results. But congrats, obviously, to Jeff and Sam and Phil and Sajay for being appointed. It's exciting to see Jeff as our a new TOB member this time. And Chris and I were chatting yesterday. Um, a couple of different things we could be thinking about here for the TOB. I've got a few thoughts, but I'd like to see kind of maybe just to get y'all's impression of it, and the board size, what sort of the recurring responsibilities are. Um, we have nine. Do we need nine people on the TOB? How much activity are you really like undertaking? And does this continue to be the right kind of format? I think is maybe a question we would put to you.
Yeah, so you missed the first part of this discussion. What I was suggesting is that's actually probably a good topic for a TOB meeting, which we haven't had in a few years, because then we'll actually have ideally the full TOB to have that kind of discussion versus this is, our weekly developer call and not everyone from the TOB always shows up here.
Would you like me to propose or have our scheduling assistant propose some meeting times for the TOB?
Yeah, so in the charter, it's the chair's responsibility to call for a TOB meeting, and we don't currently have a chair yet. So I think that's the next step, is electing a chair. There are other, you can have enough members come together to also call for a meeting too. But easiest thing is the chair doing it, and we don't have a chair yet.
I mean, we technically have five of us here right now, so that is quorum.
Simple majority, it says.
It's pretty impressive for us to all show up in one meeting.
Okay, I mean, if we want to vote on should we call for a meeting right now, we can do that even without a chair.
I'm happy to have a meeting.
So that's me and Brandon, Tianan, Sajay, Jeff.
Yep, I'm good too.
Sure. Meeting's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I think, Jory, the answer is yes, we should get a time proposed.
Perfect. So right now I'm gonna email you all and add my scheduling teammate to that to find a time that will work for a TOB call.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And yeah, we've got opinions on what to do with this, so we'll bring that up and discuss that in the meeting. Anything else over on that part to do? And thank you for our note taking. Appreciate that. There's only one other official thing in the agenda for today, which was a request for a new annotation. And I kind of feel like this request gets into that whole, do we standardize the Docker file concepts into our annotations, where we've been pushing back against that a lot. And my personal opinion is that this feels like it gets into SBOM territory where, yeah, maybe you want to have a source, you've got a source for your thing, but what you really want to know is all of your dependencies. Because who knows if it's just one of them that changed and you need to do a rebuild versus a minor dependency that you weren't keeping track of the change and you need to do a rebuild. So I'm leaning toward a soft no, but I feel like I would kind of put this out there and see what other people think.
Tiana
Dion's
said
got
he
his,
loves it.
yeah. I haven't taken the time to write down my thoughts, but that was kind of my fuzzy logic in there. Tionon, sounds like you're in the same place.
Yeah, I sympathize, but nope, this
Okay.
doesn't make sense.
I would also maybe think if we're going to do anything, it might be to discourage use of the org.opencontainers prefix for anything that is not actually one of the standardized annotations.
So someone that wants to go to and make their own, but call it org.opencontainers, you're saying don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
That's
naming
already
is
in the
kind of
spec. There's a must
Hi.
not in the spec about that.
okay, good. So maybe we should reply on that.
Were they saying they were using something else right now?
No, it says that they're using this right now
Oh,
in the first paragraph under the Y.
so image source is different. That's a different annotation. We do have an annotation for that.
Oh, okay. You're right. I misread that.
Yeah, they want the image base source.
Yeah,
So
and when they say base here, I got the impression they weren't talking about base in the same way as the several annotations we have that say base, as in like the base image, the base digest, and the base name. They actually mean the upstream source.
yeah, and that's where it gets a little confusing. You've got an upstream out there where it's only an upstream because of their specific way they're building images, where they've got a Docker file separate from the source code itself. And that's a very unique use case there. I feel like a vast majority of projects, the two are together. But okay, I'll gather my thoughts on this and put a reply out there, hopefully later today. But I feel like we're all going the same direction there. All right, so that was the end of the agenda, unless someone else threw something on there. I will kind of put out there, I haven't forgotten about this. I am still doing conformancy stuff. I am still submitting PRs into the repo. So I've got lots of things sitting out there. I've probably even got, let's see if I can drag a window across, if I can find a window that I want to drag across. I've got it sitting here somewhere, but I got so many freaking tabs open right now. Here it is. So
For a minute, I got excited that you'd built a new wall of shame.
no.
That's the old wall of shame where we self-report that we're
This
great.
is the existing self-reporting page, conformanceopencontainers.org.
That's not a wall of shame at all.
No, that's a wall of look at me. So the existing forms test, we got a lot of tests out there and does all sorts of things. Let's see if I've got anything in here that might be worthwhile mentioning. I did add in large manifest, so getting it close to a there's a size, yeah, 3.9 kilobytes, megabytes there. So getting close to the 4 meg limit just to make sure that a registry doesn't throw on that. Just has a bunch of annotations in the manifest. And a few other little things I've been adding as we've been going through. Refers, checking the artifact type filters, all that goodness in there. So all sorts of stuff happening. So I have not forgotten about it, but the thing I'm kind of getting into right now is to say for any given test, we've got pull, push, content delivery, content management. That's the old conformance categories. I don't have categories like that at all. Instead, what I've got are in the results, which I think I can probably pull that up. Yeah, I can make that big. We've got categories for APIs and data. So all the different APIs we're testing, all the different data types we're testing, whether they might have disabled a specific test, whether it failed a test, well, they should fix that. And there's also tests that have been skipped, which means that the thing that it failed in a way that the API says you're allowed to. The spec says you're allowed to skip this thing. You don't have to do a certain test. And if you don't support it, just report back this thing and we know how to respond to that. So that's the skipped. It's basically a passing non-support of a feature. So got those all in there as results. I'm outputting that to a results.yaml file, and I'm looking for how I want to represent all of this complex data inside of a page like this. I kind of lean toward just having a list of unsupported and then just say, hey, we support everything except, and then just put the exceptions under it. But that's my thought process right now. I don't have anything to show for that part because I haven't gotten there quite yet, but that is pretty much next on my to-do is to work on the conformance parser for how we put all that together. Still have a little bit of support for the old syntax for now, but then add support for the new syntax for all the different workflows that might be run. Manifest embedded blobs. You're talking about the data? I do test the data. Where do I have that?
No, the fact that you got 4 MB into a manifest.
It's just all annotations.
Yeah, I figured.
It's just an annotation.
Okay.
A bunch of A's. But I put a lot of them because I think somebody mentioned they were putting a limit on the length of an annotation. So I just have a whole bunch of annotations that are fairly long. But the data field itself, I've got that tested as well. So in here, I do have the data field tested. I was originally going to do this, and then I realized that I'm trying to calculate compression, other stuff, and that was going to get complicated, so I didn't do that. But yeah, in the large one, where was that? Not the empty. So many test. Test all the things here. Index. There was the large manifest. Oh, I'd already had it expanded. And here, yeah, large annotation 0, and then I've got large annotation 1, 2, 3, 4, a whole bunch of them, and it just contains a long string of A's. So, screaming into the void. And that's what I got so far. do we have any other topics folks want to chat about this week? Other than getting that meeting put together, which I heard emails pop, so I think Joy probably already sent that off.
Yep. Email invite sent.
Nice. All right, folks. I got nothing else. Joy, we missed you so much. We're happy to have you back.
I did miss you guys too. I'm sorry again to have been away for so
We
long.
honestly, I was getting a little worried that something might have been wrong, so I'm just glad to hear you're okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just other unfortunate fire drills,
Uh,
maybe is the diplomatic way of putting it. So,
oh boy.
do we want to, here's a question. There are two open source summits and of course a few uh KubeCon events coming up. We've had the OCI Dev Summit at Open Source Summit Europe last year. Not sure that was like the most valuable use of everyone's time, but I do wonder if there's any desire from you all to have any kind of engagement around talk submission or meetup or anything of that sort at any of the upcoming events in 2026?
I would say at the KubeCon, especially the US KubeCon, is a definite yes that we'd like to have a room for a meeting. Not an event, but just how long we usually make it, like 2, 3 hours, just for people to come by, chat for a while, have an extended meeting. And if anybody wants to jump in virtually, they can do that as well.
Yeah, we usually do that. It's basically like this meeting, just in person and longer.
Yeah. And you're getting a lot of value out of that and, wouldn't seek to change it. There's no desired.
I think we've gotten a lot of value out of that in the past. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we especially get people that wouldn't show up to this meeting that have stuff. A lot of people from the runtime groups show up for that
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that that is part of the planning and on the schedule as the KubeCon events team gets wrapped around meeting requests and things like that. Just trying to think of like some way to make it a little bit more special for y'all. I
Yeah.
don't know, should we get you some stickers or something? Like
I,
I don't know.
I would say I think, Joy, you and I have been chatting a little bit offline, but if you want to have someone like myself manning a booth and
Yeah.
handing out stickers or giving a small talk or something like that, I'm happy to jump on a
Yeah.
roll. We just need to talk outside of this on financials.
Yeah, there's the project's got a little budget, and so I just not that you need to spend it all, but I'm thinking like, is there a way to just remind folks that this is a really strong core little community, and there's opportunities for getting engaged and for being part of it, even as it's a 10-year-old project, to go and rock and steady Eddie, but it doesn't mean that it's boring.
I know we've done at least one sticker order in the past because I still have uh, a pack of them and I've been giving them out every event I've gone to for a few years.
And I'm jealous because I've never come across an OCI sticker in my entire.
Brandon, will you DM me your address and I'm gonna order you stickers today.
I'm envious.
Actually, maybe I should just say and follow up to TOB members if you want me to ship you stickers, because I mean we're talking like
Yeah,
it's not hardly any money.
I think it's a good thing to get people at conferences themselves because
Yeah.
it is, but I agree with what Jory is saying. Like TOB members, as representatives of what this organization is, should be able to give them out too. We might, I mean, if it's really not that much money, it might be worth extending to project maintainers too, since they're doing
Yeah.
all the actual work.
for them to hand out at anything they might be going to do in 2026 or
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like this is the best thing that ever came out of this meeting.
Stickers. A sticker order. Well, I have a large also number of GraphQL misprint stickers if anybody wants misprinted GraphQL stickers. I can assist with that as well.
Is the misprint funny or just sad?
It's just sad.
I mean, I personally consider all of GraphQL to be a misprint, but
Oh, but that's one of my other babies. I love all my children. So,
And Jeff
um,
just called it ugly.
yeah, it's okay.
I apologize. I
They,
still
they,
mean it, but I apologize.
they can't all be as beautiful as you all are. So,
I don't think anyone here called the OCI beautiful,
Plus one to that.
but it's our ugly baby.
It's got its pros and its cons. I think the
every,
pro is everybody uses it for free storage.
okay, well, we'll get it started with a sticker order for you guys for the TOB, and then we'll see how much that looks, and then we'll add the maintainers to the list if there's an economy of scale. And and then please respond when Jacqueline reaches out on the scheduling of the meeting.
Sounds good. Anything else folks want to chat about today? Otherwise, we can wrap up early. I'm sure Sajay would like 2 minutes before his next meeting. All right. On that note, we're a wrap. Thanks, Jory. Good to see you back. Thanks for everybody else for showing up and getting a quorum for quorum for the board. And we will cycle back here next week. Cheers, all.
Fine. All right. Bye.
Hey.
Thank you. Bye.